All right, it is 11:30 on Wednesday, March 20. It's actually 11:27 on Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. And I fell asleep again and slept for like 3 hours. And when I woke up, I said, I'm changing my name to Sleepy. And then I heard on the Vine, well, we object, Your Honor. I said, object to what? They said, object to changing your name. And I was like, well, y'all done changed my name so many times. Why can't I do it? And they said, we object to having your name changed anymore. It's already been changed enough. Sean is enough. So I had to share that with y'all. All right. And so while we were joking around, I uh, I got this question about sex offender registry, which is a legitimate question. And the question was, first of all, why are sex offenders required to register in ways that they can be publicly searched, to know exactly where they live? And then the other is, why aren't prostitutes required to register as sex offenders? Um, where, if you consider what the purpose of registration is, if that's what registration is, then if you commit a illegal act related, that's sexually related or carnally related, then you should it should be the same standard. But the first thing is, you have to remember that our judicial system and our legislative system is designed to maintain a militarized state, in this country and everywhere, really. Um, but the other thing is that, and look, I came here because I wanted to see this. Why is this called lawless? I mean, LIST stands for Legislative Information System, but isn't that just something? I mean, some things are just more obvious to me. It's called lawless. Anyway, um, so it's not rehabilitative. It doesn't have they don't have a goal to rehabilitate people. If they did, then you wouldn't be concerned about public safety if someone's been convicted of a crime living in a community. That just, it makes no sense. So it's like, people are, once you're guilty of a crime, you're always guilty of the crime regardless. So you can't get rid of it. It's just a label, like a new name. All right, so anyway, I wanted to walk y'all through this, because I also imagine that part of the reason that it came up is because of the recent raid on Sean P. Diddy Combs, and the allegations of sex trafficking. And I haven't done a video about that yet, because there hasn't been enough information available for me to feel like I could provide any kind of commentary. And so after I do this with you, I will look to see if there's any new information in what has transpired relative to his uh, arrest, if they have arrested him, and all of that kind of stuff. And if that is the case, then I will make a follow-up video with any thoughts that I have about that, when I pull together all the information I feel like I need to tell you something that's relevant. All right, so I want to walk you through this, because I said, well, let's go and look at what the legislation says about why people are required to register as sex offenders. And once I got there, I was just like, oh my God, okay, I really need to just do a walkthrough, because you can jump down a rabbit hole and your mind is, it's just like, I can't believe this. I can't tell you how often I say that. I can't believe this. So anyway, let's go here, to Chapter 9, Sex Offender and Crimes Against Minor Registry. The first thing we can look at is, what's the purpose of the sex offender registry? All right. The purpose of sex offender and crimes against minors registry shall be to assist the efforts of law enforcement agencies and to protect and others to protect their communities and families from repeat offenders, and to protect children from becoming victims of criminal offenders by helping to prevent such individuals from being allowed to work directly with children. So ask yourself again the question, what is this, how is this supposed to protect children and families and communities? The only piece of this that even remotely resembles a goal related to community safety is that it assists the efforts of law enforcement agencies, in other words, enforcing the law, not necessarily arresting people or putting them in jail, but it's supposed to assist the efforts of law enforcement agencies. I'm sorry, y'all, that's my heater. law enforcement agencies and others to protect their communities. So by making people's information, where they live, public, and that they have been convicted of a sex crime, they don't get any protection, or, you know. So you just have to kind of think about that. All right, now let's go back. All right, let's see, persons for whom, okay, here we go. I want to go here. Offenses requiring registration. All right, this blew my mind, y'all. So I'm not gonna read through all of it, but I'm gonna click around because I want you to see. It's a rabbit hole, but I want you to see how they thought this out at Lawless right here. Okay, so it starts right away talking about murder. People who have committed murder are not. There's no registry I know of where people can publicly go and see if people have been convicted of murder. You can find out if a person has been convicted of murder, but it's not. There's not like a like the sex offender registry is just that. You can go right to the registry, put in a name or an address, and it'll tell you whether or not the person, you know, it's easy. They don't have one like that for murder. You have to dig around like I'm doing right now. All right, but here's the key part: is any tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 offense, which they is extenuating. Okay, tier 1 offense, violation of these clauses. Now I'm not going to read through all the clauses, but now that you know how to do this, you can go back and read them yourself. But look at this one, 18.2. Okay, come on. Causing or encouraging acts rendering children delinquent, abuse, etc. Penalty, abandoned infant. Okay, so this is, they're saying if you have violated or done something that appears to be a violation of these sub codes, then your conviction will fall under tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. All right, here's the next one. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far. Let's see. Abuse and neglect of children, penalty, abandoned infant. And this is a really interesting one because it talks about parents who drop their kids off to an emergency facility, and I think this is the one, emergency facility like a hospital, and leaves them at the hospital because they don't want to take care of them, or they can't take care of them, or whatever have you, this is sort of to try to protect them in some way. But again, what we're looking at is if you have violated this, meaning that you haven't taken care of the child, or have not sought medical attention, and also committed a carnal act against the child, right? Okay, so I'm not going to explain all these. Y'all have me on here all night. All right, so let's see. Here's tier 2. Tier 2 offense means any violation of, attempted violation of, or conspiracy to violate 18.2. I want to come back up here. This is still under tier 1, where the victim is a minor or is physically helpless or mentally incapacitated. So that includes like disability, nursing homes, you know, things like that. So they're saying a minor or mentally incapacitated. So, and we've talked about that too. Some suspicions I had about St. Mary's. Okay, tier 3 means a violation of or attempted violation of or conspiracy to violate clause 2 and 3 of 18.2. Now I'm hoping this is the one. Let me see. Oh, look at that. Concubinage. I mean, when you got a wife, you know, you got that sister wives thing happen where you got the main wife and then you got the other wives staying with you. Y'all know what a concubine is. Okay. Abduction with intent to extort money for immoral purpose. That's not it. Let me see. Okay. Oh my God, I can see this while I'm looking through. Let me see. Okay, what I'm looking for is Let's see. Here they define incapacitated. But let me see. I'm trying to find, there is a, so what blew me away is that there is a code for people who are providing services to juveniles, including those who are in juvenile detention and considered a ward of the Department of Juvenile Corrections. And they, the word was carnally knows, which means that they have committed one of the carnal acts as defined within the clause against the minor. And so that they have a separate thing for that, but I can't remember which code it was. Anyway, it's up in here somewhere. Let me see, what's this one? No. Let me see. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is it. So, carnally knows without the use of force. No, this isn't it. But this one isn't. But this is a definition of carnal knowledge. So, you know, you can go back and look through this if you are curious about. This is in Virginia. So if Sean Combs is arrested and charged, you would have to look at the code in the state where he will be tried to make sure. But they're all pretty much the same. And even here, they indicate that if you violate a law similar to the codes in Virginia where you live, in another state, in another country, internationally, that you can still be convicted of those crimes regardless of what their law says about, you know, how to convict people of those particular crimes if you domicile in Virginia. So all of the other laws are probably very similar in that language, which is supposed to, you know, help people feel safe about the government's attempts to protect children. But we all know that they really are not interested in protecting our children the way we are as parents. And so the change is really about figuring out or learning how to rehabilitate people so that they no longer offend. That is what is going to help the enforcement of the laws, is people understanding what they did wrong, understanding what they need to do differently so that it doesn't happen again, and then working together to prevent it from happening to anybody else. That's what's going to help law enforcement. Okay, so I'll leave you with that, and I'll start, you know, I'm on night shift now. I was asleep all day, and then I had dinner and made dinner with Jermaine, and then went back laid down again and went back to sleep for 2 or 3 more hours, and now here I am. So I'll probably be up. So I'm going to start looking and seeing, and if I find something relative to that that you all have been looking at while I was sleeping, then I will make another video.